Eddington, Ari Aster's new film. It takes place in 2020, and immediately it feels like a dare, like Aster is looking right at us and saying, too soon? And honestly, yeah, it might be. This isn't an easy film, not in tone, not in content, not even in pacing. It's not here to entertain in the conventional sense. It's not even made for fans of Aster's earlier work. It's made for people willing to feel uncomfortable, for people willing to sit with the absurdity of what we just lived through and ask, what just happened to us? Or maybe even, who are we now because of it? But at its core, Eddington is a satire, but not in the kind that feels safe or polished or wrapped in irony. This film sets out to wound. It wants to expose something. The absurdity it shows on screen is not abstract. It's a reflection, a mirror that's angled just enough to catch us looking back at ourselves mid-crisis, mid-panic, mid-conspiracy theory spiral. It doesn't flinch from any of it. A small town becomes a stage, and from there we watch paranoia bloom like mold in a sealed room. It builds slowly. There's pressure. There's tension. It's like watching a lit fuse crawl towards a stack of fireworks, knowing full well what's about to happen, but still jumping when the explosion hits. And when the smoke clears, and what's left is disturbingly familiar. The loudest voices aren't necessarily the wisest. They're just opportunistic. The scared give way to the cunning, the fragile hope of community replaced by decisiveness, cynicism, people picking teams like it's a game. And yet somehow, Ari Aster fits all of it in. The rage, the confusion, the misinformation, the politics, left, right, center. He spares no one. This isn't a movie that takes sides. It holds a warped, uncomfortable funhouse mirror up to everyone. And yeah, that's hard to sit with, but I admire that. I admire filmmakers willing to go there, to make something that isn't asking to be liked, something that challenges us. And I know a lot of people are going to walk into Eddington and walk back out, and maybe mentally, maybe emotionally, but because of this film pokes at something raw, something we maybe haven't processed yet, or something we're still denying happened in the first place, I get it. But what if that's the point? What if in 20 years, this movie plays like a time capsule, something we can watch and say, wow, we really were lost, weren't we? That's what Aster seems to be trying to ask us. He's not trying to provide comfort. He's holding up the discomfort for all of us to stare at and maybe even laugh at eventually. But now it still stings. And Joaquin Phoenix, let's talk about him for a second. He transforms in this. Some award season, look at how method I am way. He dissolves into this paranoid, unraveling man. It's haunting, it's nuanced, and it anchors the chaos around him. The cast is stacked. Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler. They're all there. The performances don't feel like characters. They feel like people who we knew. Maybe people we were, but maybe people we still are. Now, let me be clear. I'm not recommending Eddington. I can't. Not in the traditional way. You have to see this kind of way. It's not for everyone. It's barely for anyone. But if you're a cinephile or if you respect bold, boundary-pushing cinema, if you're a fan of Ari Aster and you know what you're walking into, then yeah, you'll probably watch it. And what you take away from it will depend entirely on who you are. Your tolerance for discomfort, your willingness to look back at the pandemic era, not in nostalgia, but with honesty, brutal honesty. And some will hate it, some will say it's the worst film they've ever seen. And that is pointless, that it's offensive, that it has no structure, that it made them feel worse. And that's fair because this film doesn't ask for approval. It asks for a reaction, any reaction. And that's the power of it. Me, I appreciated it, not just for its message, but for its craftsmanship. The cinematography, the writing, the nerve. And there's something undeniably compelling about a filmmaker who knows his audience might despise him for what he's about to do. So here I am talking about it, because Eddington isn't a film you walk away from and forget. It clings to your brain. It lingers. This is our moment in history. Twisted, satirized, reflected. Appreciate you going on this film journey with me, and as always, be real.
At the cost of being at war with your neighbors? That's why I'm running for mayor. Thank you super duper very much.